Alright, last year I decided to take a vacation and I went to Japan. It was my very first trip outside the country, so of course, had to get a passport and bought an electronic translator and all that. But it was a definitely trip I wanted to take, and so I decided to take one. Now, first of all, my flight was 13 hours from Boston to Narita International Airport. It was a direct flight through JAL, the Japan Airlines. It cost me roughly $1,800 round trip, which I didn't think was too bad considering I was flying halfway around the world. Now, flying out of Boston, I got there way too early. And if you're wondering when way too early is, my flight was at 2. I was there at 10. Yeah, way too early. So early, in fact, that the security checkpoint, there was nobody waiting in line. There was no line. So, as I was waiting at the terminal, I decided to take a picture out the window. What you see is the tarmac and a little bit of Boston Harbor. Awesome. After waiting for quite some time, the plane took off roughly around 2 o'clock. The plane was a brand new Boeing 787 Dreamliner, which was a very nice airplane, especially with the polarized windshield windows that you can tint to different levels, almost like a automated welder's helmet. So as we took off, we can see I was on the left side of the airplane on a window seat, and this here is Boston Harbor. And more Boston Harbor. That's actually one of the forts that was built out in the harbor. Don't know any particulars about it, but it looked cool, so yeah, picture. And next we have, after the long 13 and something hour flight, we have our first view of Japan. This is the eastern coast of the Chiba Prefecture, in which the Narita International Airport is found. Here we have a very blurry picture of the arrival terminal. And as a casual observer will notice, they have 7-Eleven. That's going to be important later on. And this was when I was in line to have my currency exchanged, which was at the time approximately 100 yen to the single US dollar. Next we have a police officer. He was stationed at the train station in the airport. Yes, we have a regular train station at the airport, so you don't need to get a taxi or anything. You just go down and grab a train. They have multiple trains that you can pick. You can pick the Narita Express, which is a express train, no stopping, from Narita Airport to the Tokyo train station. It's a little on the pricey side, but if you need to get to Tokyo Station, it's the best way to go. Or you could do what I did and take a local train, which was cheaper, but took you longer. So back to this police officer. He is actually the only one I saw in Japan that is armed. That's right, he's got a gun. And a beating stick. But what police officer doesn't have a beating stick? Now, here is the hotel room. I was stayed in the Hotel My Stays in the heart of Tokyo, basically. It is literally 100 feet from a train station. And offhand, I forget the name of the train station. I'll probably put a little flashy thing on the screen, but as you can see, it's a small, relatively small room. A little table and everything, but yeah, I'm not gonna say too much because I actually have a extra video for that, which I took at the time, which you can see my reflection taking. So we'll take care of that. Alright, here we go. Just arrived in Japan, and this is my room. Since we are in Japan, we need to take off our shoes. They provide slippers, but whatever. They don't really fit. Go figure, right? Now, it's a business hotel, so we have a little workstation here. Computer. Translator. TV. My Z-Quill. And the bed. Slightly bigger than the one I use at home. A little on the stiff side, but that's not really going to matter too much. And of course we have the air conditioner. A must. Can't really see too well outside. But we are on the 9th floor of a 14-floor story building. You can even open the window. The top tilts back towards you. So of course you can't fall out of the window. Like an idiot would. And that is the room. Got a TV, only a few channels. Nothing really on. Hey, go figure, it's all in Japanese. So, that's the room in a nutshell. Now, what we have here is some of the money that we have. 5,000 yen bill, 1,000 yen bill, and in comparison a dollar bill. Yay. Next we have some not so good pictures of the coins. In the upper 4 silver coins, those are the 100 yen coins. The 6 on the right, those are 5 yen coins. The 2 coins that you can barely see with the holes in them are 10 yen. Oops, sorry, they are 5 yen. The 6 ones are 10 yen. And the one you can't really see on the left is the single yen. And in comparison in the middle, a quarter. Now, after being there for, well, a full day, I went to Akihabara, which was literally a quarter mile from where, well, okay, so it's actually about a kilometer. A little over half a mile from my hotel. And I decided to, of course, buy stuff. Couple Aero games, which if anybody knows me, I love playing them. A manga, well, actually a doujinshi from Love Live, and some other incidentals like an inflatable round from Girls in Panzer, which this was a little out of order, but this is some of the things I bought. I bought a whole lot more, but we'll get to that some other time. Next we have, well, how can you go to Japan without having instant ramen? And the stuff is good. thankfully there was a convenience store attached to the hotel. So now we have, well, Pringles. Yay, Pringles. You know, once you pop, you just can't stop. And also some milk tea, which is really, really good. And, well, Coke, because we don't have very many options for soda. Next, we have the actual stuff from Akibara. So, we have Akibara Station. There's multiple exits for this, and, well, it's one of the most popular places to go, especially if you like anime and manga and, well, electronics in general. They are pretty much the electronics capital of Japan. Next we have the AKB48 Cafe and Shop. Now AK48 is a very popular, if not the most popular idol group in Japan. And, well, they have their very own cafe and shop. And their theater is also located in Akibara. Next is the UDX building. Now, if anybody was likes watching anime, they might notice that this is actually the base for the UTX High School in Love Live. And just as a size comparison, the video screen that you see in, yeah, that's around 15 feet tall. Next we have Akibara at night. As you can see, it's actually pretty nice looking at night with all those signs lit up and everything. And we have gamers. Pretty big in anime, so of course we went there. And another thing is, well, I went to a maid cafe. I went to Maid Dreamin', which, as you see here, is on the second and third floors of this building. Good food. Now, inside gamers, it is actually 8 floors. Now, because Japan doesn't have very much land devoted to stores like you see in the US and other places, they have to go vertical. So gamers is 8 floors, all dedicated to different things. And here's a basically floor map that tells you what's on each different floor. Now inside we have all different. They sell a whole bunch of different things: manga, DVDs, whatnot. But what caught my eye was, well, this is 2015. They have stuff from Lucky Star, which was made in early 2000s-ish, and Vocaloid, which are still huge over there. The next day, well, basically the next day, we'll call it the next day, we start the Love Live tour. After going through all the stuff in Akibara, so we decided to, of course, walk around Akibara because Love Live is primarily based in Akibara. So as we're going, there was a small park, about 100 feet by 50 feet. That's how small the park was. But they had this, what you can and can't do on this park. And what actually was interesting was in the lower left-hand corner of the sign, you see, no helicopters or drones. Yes, they don't want you to fly drones in that little park. It's primarily for a noise thing. So here we are back in Akibara, and, well, I come from Maine. We're in Tokyo. That's a that's a Maine lobster on the side of that truck. Yeah, you can expect that to be an expensive lobster. So here we are at the Love Life location. This is one of their little hangout spots that they have. And we have, well, the birds. Next is the shrine that is portrayed in the show. And so going up to the shrine, we have the steps that the girls use to train. They run up and down. And incidentally, it's where Hanukkah and Nico raced. And during that race, Nico fell on that manhole cover right there. So here we have the shrine, and we are at the west entrance at the top of the stairs. And well, Love Live is big. And so the front of the shrine and the wish placards. And well, it's actually standard for you to see these wish placards with anime characters on it, whether they're for the actual shrine or just what people like to draw. And well, this is a person just walking his miniature horse in Tokyo. Yeah. So here we are at the main gate of the shrine. It's very, very detailed and ornate, and you can see the architectural style of ancient Japan. It's really nice. I like it. Now another Love Live location is the grocery store in which Nico ditched her practice and had to go shopping for her family. And well, might come strange to some people, especially if you're living in places like the US where there's enough space, since they don't have enough space really for very much, and they have a lot of overhead train and car highways. They use the space under said overpasses and bridges for buildings, and it's pretty typical. In some cases, you can get up to a 30-floor building under these things. Incidentally, the Kentucky Fried Chicken in Akihabara is 3-floor and it's under an overpass. Good food. Good food. So, and here's the side of the market where Nico ran out of, the side door, into the alleyway, as you see. Coming out of the alleyway and onto the main street in which Nozomi lost her. Next is pictures of Ueno Park. It is one of the more popular spots in Tokyo. It has this lovely pond where you can rent swan boats to just toot around in. They also have a pretty large koi pond off the side. But like always for this tour, Love Live. Yeah, there's a scene where Hanukkah and Tsubasa from Our Eyes are talking. So, coming back from Ueno, I was a little hungry, so, well, you're in Japan, have some melon bread. It is really good. It's kind of sweet, and the only reason why they call it melon bread is because of the texture on the top. So, still walking back, and, well, halfway around the world, and we still got Circle K. Yeah. Oh, on one day, I went down to Tokyo Station. Right outside is this large plaza area. And, well, if you haven't guessed it before, this is a Love Live location. It is actually part of the final Love Live song that they did in the anime right before the movie, and which they performed. It's a nice little place. Now, we went to Oarai, which is in the northeastern of Tokyo, roughly, I don't know, 75 miles or so. And so we had to take a express train from where it had to be Ueno to Oarai. Actually, it was to Mito, then took a train to Oarai. But from the elevated green line that we picked up in Akibara to Ueno, we walked upstairs to where my express train was going to be pulling in. And well, as you can see, there's trains up at another level. I believe there is something like 6 different train levels, including bullet train or the Shinkansen at Ueno. It's a pretty big station, and I have a video of the train and train station. Just looking at my videos. Not really, just the train. Alright. So, now, inside the train, it's a express train, so we have reserved seatings. Or you can have a cheaper non-reserved seating, but then you actually have to try and look for a seat that was open. And if you look up at the top of this picture, you see some lights on the top. The green means, I believe the green means occupied, and the red means, yes, the green means reserved, and the red means vacant. There's also an orange one, but yeah, you don't need to worry about that. So, arriving in Mito, waiting for the train to Oarai, and when it arrives, we get, the reason why I went to Oarai is Girls and Panzer. Extremely good anime. And the town of Oarai embraced it. So, here we have the main girls from the show on the diesel-powered two-car train that goes from Mito to Oarai. And they even have the insides plastered. So, after the short trip on the train, we have Oarai and the dolphin statue in front of the station. And Oarai Station. As you can see, they have a little picture thing for the Girls in Panzer. And this town embraced it so much that they decided to have basically a hide-and-seek game, which you can download from the internet. You can find it pretty easily online. If I remember, I will see if I can find the link and put it in the description. But you can walk around the town looking for cardboard cutouts of both the characters from the show and their vehicles they use. Different things for different places. So next we have a picture of the Oarai Port Tower. the observation deck is 60 meters up. Now, Oarai is basically a cruise ship port. So here we have the tower and what's inside the tower. First floor is a gift shop, second floor is a cafe, which they named the Panzervor, and the third floor is their observation deck. Now, of course, it's going to cost you money to go up there. Any children is 160 yen, and an adult is 330 yen. There's a machine right on the right side of the door before you go in that you can get pay for your tickets to the observation deck. Now, observation deck. Now you can see all the different portions of Oarai through up here, and the outlet mall, which is where most of the stuff that happens on land and Girls and Panzer takes place. Now, you really can't see this too well in this picture, but at the end of the green, and where the field and the buildings meet in the background, is where the station is. And I walked around this entire town, literally around. I think right about now I'm going to show you a Google Maps thing of the town, and well, yeah, it's big. So looking around, they have different signs, yeah, and cardboard cutouts looking out. I tried to get a picture of the actual reflections, but it didn't work out too well. So these are the 5 main characters. Now next is looking towards the north end of Oarai, and you see off in the distance a white building and a white, what they call torii or gate, for the shrine that's up on the hill. We'll be seeing a little bit more of that later. Now, in the lobby you have the main girls from the show. Now, from left to right, we have Akari, Hana, Miho, Sayori, and Mako. And now it's just some different scenes from the show that they put up on the wall, and just odds and ends. Also, you see the picture of the port tower with what looks to be an aircraft carrier. That's the Oarai school ship that's next to the port tower that we were just in. Get you a size comparison. And as I was walking, well, character. This was at a gas station, and you could just barely see it, but the item off to the left hand side that's just a half off frame is an automated car wash that goes back and forth. God, I wish we had those. And well, walking around, somebody has a Skyline GTR, and well, good car. Why not a picture? So here we have a beautiful sky shot. No, not really. There's actually an F-15 up someplace in that sky, and it's actually a little speck that, well, it's right in the center above the buildings. Also, you can see a normal box truck that has availability of side loading and unloading. That is pretty neat in Japan. And, well, here's a very nice little lighthouse. It's about 15 feet tall, and the only lighthouse I'll ever take a picture of. So, go walking up to the shrine, and here is a almost replica of a scene from Girls in Panzer where they drive their tanks down the road. And another picture of the Tory. Now, here we have another picture of a Tory, the Tory, from another angle, and, well, you can see the size comparison with a standard person under it. Now, we went up to the shrine, and I wish I took some better pictures, but, well, unfortunately, this is all we got. And now, if you have seen the Girls in Panzer movie that has just been released online, you'll notice that this is actually the stairway leading down from the shrine in which they drove the Panzer IV down. I don't really see it being that big. And we had a Tory out in the water. Looked nice. And the stairs from below. Now, another part from the Girls in Panzer is this corner of the road in which the St. Gloriana team was chasing the Oarai team. So, another way of advertising, well, we'll just use Girls in Panzer, this time for the Coast Guard. So, we're walking around and with just, well, random characters. I didn't actually go looking for them, but I just happened to go right by it. So I took pictures. So, there's just a lot of them. Oh, here's something. I know it seems like a random picture. Why put a what looks like a pedestrian crossing button picture on there? Well, here's the thing. It is a pedestrian crossing button. Don't ever cross the street without pushing that button. You are taking your life into your own hands. Literally. I'm not sure about the laws, but if you're not used to this traffic patterns in Japan, in which they drive on the left-hand side, people from a right side driving country, yeah, it's a little bit dangerous. And, well, I was at the outlet mall, and we see this car with anime characters on it. Didn't much like the anime, but, well, the car looks cool. And, well, if you're wondering what anime that is, it's Attack on Titan. So, inside the outlet mall, there was a museum dedicated to Girls in Panzer, in which they had just basically random stuff. Like Yukari's backpack and a bunch of t-shirts. A picture of Anchovy from Anzio High School. And just different posters and stuff. A replica of the winning flag that they get at the end of the show. And, well, Hana. And different products. Now, like most anime, if not all, in Japan, the characters always have a birth date. And, well, it was pretty close to Mako's birthday. So they had pictures of her in places where you can write her little messages and stuff. So here we have just some random stuff. Yes, random stuff. Like chicken cutlet, which if you didn't know when you were watching the anime and they're going out, everyone has chicken cutlets. It's a play on the word for chicken cutlet in Japanese are tonkatsu, which can mean chicken cutlet or fight, or I believe they can use a few other ways of saying it. I'm not fluent in Japanese by any means. So, next, well, yeah, there's a little cutout of Yukari. So, I, at the time, was playing World of Tanks. I don't really play it anymore, but they had World of Tanks set up. So, well, I gave it a go. Like always, I sucked. Big time. So, now we're coming out of the little museums thing, walking around, finding more characters. Like Yukari's mom. Alright, well, since this recording has gone on for 34 minutes, I shall do this in another video. Yes, so we will cut it there. See you in the next one.